I don't like myself being filmed. You don't have the right to actually smash that camera. Hey, right now. I wouldn't do that. I have the right to smash that.
Hey,
don't do that. By law, I have the right to smash that. You have the right to smash that camera. Yeah, by law? Yeah, by law. You know I have.
Hey.
Smash that camera. What law are you quoting? He punched the cell phone out of my hand. The guy that's sweeping up.
Normally, a walk in the park on a nice summer's day is an enjoyable occurrence, but in an increasing number of jurisdictions, is this truly the case anymore? By definition, parks are public spaces to be enjoyed by the public. But increasingly, parks are being occupied by filthy tent cities, which house inhabitants who are, to put it mildly, unhinged.
Give me a hug! Give me a hug! I love you! I love you!
Such is the case at Trinity Bellwoods Park in downtown Toronto, a once lovely patch of real estate that is now increasingly becoming a no-go zone. We decided to venture down to Trinity Bellwoods the other day after we received a tip from a viewer. She wants to remain anonymous because she is fearful of repercussions. We would later personally discover that her fears are entirely justified. In any event, here's what the person wrote to us. Hello, I live by Trinity Bellwoods Park. More and more people are setting up tents in this park. Today, needles in the children's playground have been found. I was taking my 4-year-old to the swings and was greeted by about 6 cops who were scouring the sand area near the swings and slides. I've emailed the city this afternoon. However, I don't think anything will be done to clean up the park. I see very mentally unwell people and drug addicts living in the park next to children's play areas. I've lived in Vancouver and I've seen firsthand what happens when you start letting tents take over the park. I don't know what to do. Start a neighborhood petition. I'm sure the powers that be won't do anything to make our parks clean. Lovely. What is utterly astounding about Trinity Bellwoods is that this park, folks, was thrust into the news cycle back in May, you might recall. On a sunny spring weekend, hundreds of cooped-up Torontonians descended upon the park to do what people like to do in parks on sunny days: picnic, suntan, toss the old frisbee around. Well, Mayor John Tory flipped his lid regarding this lack of social distancing etiquette. Said His Honor at the time, quote, I saw a crowd scene that was completely out of control relative to what we have been saying people should do, end quote. And the eventual response was to have city staff paint hundreds of white circles on the lawns. Park goers were now being treated like kindergarten children, told to stay in these silly social distancing circles as bylaw officers and police dutifully patrolled the park, looking for any violators who were potentially facing an $880 fine for breaching circle etiquette. It was surreal. Check it out. Hello, officer. How you doing? Do we have circle compliance here today in Toronto?
You be the judge of that.
Okay, it looks like people are behaving.
Looks like it.
Well, we're 6 feet away.
I understand that, and you're holding it less than 6 feet away from your mouth, which can contaminate me. So I would like that further away from my face, please, sir.
You're not going to give me one of those $880 tickets, are you?
Well, if you don't comply with what I ask you to do, then that may be a possibility right now.
But in the weeks that have followed, something far worse than social distancing circles were appearing in this park, namely tents, and lots of them. Indeed, there is now a filthy tent city occupying much of this park, in which the occupants are breaking several sections of the Trespass Act. But while a city spokesman told me that the city is, quote, aware of the problem, apparently the city isn't all that keen on actually doing something about the problem, i.e., enforcing the rule of law. Remember that old chestnut? So it was that my cameraman Lincoln and I ventured out to Trinity Bellwoods Park the other day to document the growing illegal eyesore that is the Tent City encampment, as well as the playground that is apparently being overrun by drug users. We wanted to contrast this scenario with all those goofy social distancing circles that law-abiding citizens dare not disrespect under penalty of heavy fine. Alas, we never got to finish our report. That's because we were violently shut down. Now I'm going to throw to a clip. It is me standing in front of a particularly gruesome looking tent at Trinity Bellwoods. I was merely filming the stand-up to my report. Keep in mind, it was never my intention to engage with anyone at the encampment, but an illegal squatter inexplicably took umbrage to my very presence in this public park, and here's what unfolded. This is really rich. There are people here breaking the Trespass Act.
Please move. Move. I don't like myself being filmed. You don't have the right to actually smash that camera.
Hey,
right now.
I wouldn't do that.
I have the right to smash that.
Hey.
Don't do that.
By law, I have the right to smash that.
You have the right to smash that camera by law?
Yeah, by law, you know I have to
Hey.
smash that camera.
What law are you quoting? Yes, please, sir.
Get over here.
Yes, this degenerate seemingly believed he was living on private property and, I don't know, embracing castle domain, all the way to the extent that he actually tried to steal my microphone and sicked his vicious dogs on me, dogs that chewed up my thighs and took a bite out of my left thumb. Here's a photograph of one of my thighs, folks. Pretty ugly, eh? Eventually, I was rushed to hospital to get patched up and receive a tetanus shot, but I'm still in some pain. And I'm really pissed off too. How is it that we have surrendered so many parks to brazen entitled thugs who don't belong in parks, but rather should be behind bars? COVID-19 social distancing etiquette be damned. Yes, the city is aware of the problem, but awareness is not enough if nothing tangibly will be done about this festering issue. Clearly, the rule of law is gone at Trinity Bellwoods, replaced instead by the law of the jungle. That's egregious. Indeed, what we have now in Trinity Bellwoods is what you get when you basically neuter the police. It is the broken windows theory on steroids. Today, it is occupiers camping illegally in the park with attack dogs. Tomorrow, will they be brandishing knives? And then maybe guns? Trinity Bellwoods is the end result of what happens when governments refuse to govern and law enforcement, due to the mandates of their political masters, decline to uphold the law. And all that is required to fix Trinity Bellwoods and make it safe for citizens to visit again is to simply enforce the rule of law and mop up this sordid mess. All that is required is political will. Do you feel as enraged and as frustrated as I do? If so, folks, please sign our petition, TakeTorontoBack.com. Let's send a message to Mayor John Tory. Let's tell him enough is enough. This is the same mayor who built a Berlin-style wall around High Park in May to prevent Torontonians from converging there to smell cherry blossom trees. But he has no issue with allowing filthy, unhygienic, and dangerous tent cities to take over so many parks. How does that make any sense? Why does Mayor Tory penalize the makers and reward the takers? Indeed, what we are seeing in Toronto these days is nothing less than a grotesque dereliction of duty. And the question arises, how many more law-abiding, tax-paying citizens will end up in hospital or worse, thanks to a lunatic fringe that is getting increasingly more emboldened, all because of political paralysis by analysis. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, are you fed up with tent cities taking over Parkland? Then please sign our petition, TakeTorontoBack.com. Thank you.